Hey everyone, Corey from Aquarium Co-op. Today we're gonna do the Fishroom / studio tour. See what fish stayed, what fish are doing well, what's new, all those types of things. So yeah, it's about time. Let's get a look of the room so far. We've got tanks basically over there. Those are 75 gallons stacked on top of each other. Then we've got, those are 29s. And then we've also got 29s down low. And we've got this crazy extension cord at the moment that is only temporary until we run power down from the ceiling up here. We're gonna run it straight down into the center of this table. So for now, that's a little janky, but hey, we're gonna have to deal with it. We still need to build over there a bit. And we've got this wall over here is all 125s. So, two 125s up top, two 125s down low. Let's focus in on some of these 125s down here. We've got these guys, which are the blood parrots. A little skittish. They don't like being walked around. So I chose the blood parrots because I haven't done them in a long time, and I had them with the warus, and I took the warus back to the store because I didn't have any tanks that I wanted all these to be planted. So this is just a bunch of leftover plants from the tanks we had to tear down. We've got, like down there, we've got that super red bristlenose. We've got some Gossi cories. That's what those little guys are. They're all feeding on some bloodworms right now, and there's probably like 50 plus albino bristlenose in here. And there's also the panda guppies somewhere in here. They kind of hide out and do their own thing. I just saw them when I was feeding, but of course now you can't see any. But that's the first 125. I don't know that this is going to stay. Well, it's not going to stay this way for sure. For sure, we're not going to stay the way it is right now. But as far as stock goes, that type of thing, I kind of want these blood parrots. The reason I didn't want to get rid of them is because they're healthy and I've been growing them out, and I kind of want them to live with like a black ghost knife and some other oddball fish, like maybe some leaf fish. And we've got that other 280-gallon tank that may get set up somewhere. Wow, it is crazy windy right now. It just blew the door open. So I'm going to close that, and so anyway, that's kind of this tank down here. Up top, we've got Ladybird, the Maboo puffer. You can see me in the reflection here. I apologize for that. In fact, let me turn the lights off. Maybe that'll be better for filming here. Kind of getting used to the new setup. So let's see if that works out better here. And we've got some flickering going on here. I wonder if this light's not turned up all the way, would be my guess. Let's take a look up here and find that button. Oh, there we go. We're going to turn it all the way up. That's why it was flickering. So while we're up here, this is Ladybird. This is my other Maboo puffer. We've got up top, that's the linear air piston pump that runs all of the air line throughout all the tanks that we have here in this room. And then we've got this black line right there. That is the auto water change system. So it's there, and then if you look down the way, we've got more T's. You can see how it just keeps going, and that comes into every tank. And we've got it right here with a little like water valve. Now I need to raise that up some because it will back siphon, or I have to install a check valve, either one. But while we're in here, I thought let's feed Ladybird. Let's grab these and we'll watch Ladybird go to town. She doesn't feed as fast as Murphy does, but she's still learning. She's about 6 inches at the moment, but she's not used to the camera at all yet, so it's kind of a wait. I don't know, it's a little scary, she says. But since it's so quiet in here, you can really hear that cracking. The fish around her are the Variatus Platies, one of my favorite. And they're having babies in here. I love that sound, never gets old. You can see they have to struggle a little more to get through the clams at this size, but still a beast. So, things we need to do in this tank. We need a sponge filter on the intake. We're waiting for those to come into the country basically. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting as well. Even I need them. Got to put more sand in here, and we got to scape it because right now it's just got a few plants you know, in either corner, and that's it. But I wanted to get the studio done so we could film an entire, you know, like episode on here's how we're going to do this tank. So I've got some ideas we'll try out. And you can see there's some orange shrimp that are hiding out in the weeds here and haven't been eaten yet. Kind of must come in with the plant. There's 2 of them right there. I can see another one hiding right there. But that's the goal of having real nice you know, plant cover, is you can get stuff to live in it and it enriches their environment. So up on the right hand corner here you can see these babies that are kind of coming out. Sorry for the particles in the water. The water level's not 100% high, and so we're getting those water or those bubbles. We'll fix that long term. But we did use an overflow. That's where the water goes out, and we used black elbows, black PVC, and a black coupler. And then up top, I don't know that I'll be able to show you. Yeah, I won't be able to show you without, well, you might be able to see it. We've got the screen intake top up there underneath the glass. So it should be able to keep all the babies out and that type of thing. And yeah, so, you know, real basic. This tour is going to be real basic at this point just because of the fact that it's not done, you know, just getting started. Over here we've got Jimmy's tank. And he got one of the 125s and said, oh, I really want to do rainbow fish. And he's done some of the scaping, but the video's got to come out, and you know, he's not quite done yet, but he decided to use manzanita wood and dragonstone. So you've got all the dragonstones over here, lots of anubias and java ferns and things like that. We're a little dark in the corners, but I think that's the way he likes it, apparently. So we might add some more lighting depending on what he likes. He's got a nice tiger lotus up front here and some crypts. And the fish are Kamaka rainbows, which were in one of my tanks. And then we ordered in the yellow axelrodi rainbows to add to that. So also need an intake sponge. As you can see there, we don't have enough, but what can you do? And he's also got some, is it Davidsai Corys? I'm trying to remember which ones he got. But there's some of those in here. There's also some shrimp, and oh yeah, there's the 497 plecos. I don't know where they are though. Usually there's one like hanging out like right in here up front, but right now there's not. So maybe Jimmy will grab us oh, there's one. Yep, okay, I found one. If I can get it to focus in on it. There you go. It's right behind that wood. And there's a group of 6 of those in here. So maybe one day they'll start breeding. Right now, if you hear a sound, it's the auto water change system kind of doing its work. Let me grab, we'll do that one in a minute. We'll do some of the tanks over here. We've got the strawberry bettas. You've seen this at this point. Here's a male holding a clutch of eggs, you know, so it's got babies in its mouth. They're a mouth brooder. They give birth, you know, not to live, but when they open their mouth, it'll be live. So there's a male there. And then we've got the second male over here, hanging out near these bloodworms, and then the female that breeds with them both up top by this floating betta cave. Now again, there's only a few sprigs of plant in there. This is not by any means done. Every tank does have a sponge filter or air stone plus a hang-on back. On these tanks we're running the Fluval 2.0, and on these tanks we're running the Stingrays. And you know, we can open this one up here. You can see we have power up top, we've got our Stingrays, and we've got, you know, the hang-on back. So pretty standardized setups throughout. And there's still some more work to do, like we need to finish the trim on here and here. Like the goal will be there'll be no light bleed at all. We just haven't finished that stage yet. So when you come and look over here, this one is finished. You see how there's essentially no light bleed. There's a little bit right there we're gonna fix. But with all the lights out in the room, like you can't see it with the lights on, but when you turn out all the lights, there's a little bit of gap that we're gonna fix. And you just put a piece behind it so you can't see it. So we'll fix all those as well. And yeah, so down low we've got some Variatus Platies I got from Goliad Farms. A little bit more plants in here, still haven't done anything officially. And the black rose shrimp I got from Flip Aquatics. We're running heaters in a lot of the tanks down low, so I don't have to heat the room as high when we're doing the podcast. And I do like the Fluval LED heaters. You guys will see a video coming out on them because I really do like them. One of the biggest tragedies of the Fishroom move was you know, we lost a lot of the best guppies in the world. I've got this female and like one fry left in here. We lost the male and one of the other females. There's some fry right there. Might be more than one fry. You can see it kind of going around the back there. Won't focus in on that little guy, but yeah, for whatever reason, I got to work on rebuilding this colony. This colony is, for as much as I love it, I've never had it in a spot to really utilize it, and I was overworked, and so I can see at least 2 fry right now. So now it's at, you know, walk in, room height, keep our eyes on it, feed it well, do what it needs to do, get those fry raised up, and get that colony really going again, and not be overwhelmed by 63 tanks. That's why we don't have 63 tanks anymore. We've got 10. Down low, we've got some Platies I got from Sargent Tanks, and these are Showa Platies. You would think they were swordtails, but they're actually the Showa Platy. You see another one down in there. And these guys are real reclusive. They don't like being super low either, so got to wait for them to grow out. I'm only seeing 2 at the moment, but I know there's at least 4 in there at this point. Over here, we've got the pleco colonies. This is a group of leopard frogs, and they're in a 75-gallon, and that's all that's in there currently. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to mix with them yet. I might mix Shaodeni puffers, but there's a group of 12, I believe, is where we're at, maybe 13 of the leopard frogs. I just put some bloodworms in there, so they're starting to make their way out. And this isn't scaped, it's just we brought stuff over from the 40-gallon, like this log was in there, these caves were in there, and a lot of these plants were in there, so we just spread them out is all we did, and we put a few extra coconut caves in from other stuff. There's an assassin snail right there, but otherwise we're just letting them do their thing, and we're keeping them hot. We're keeping them at currently it's at 80 degrees, but we're going to keep it a little bit warmer, and the heater in the back there shows blue because it's under the temp I set it, but we have the water change temp coming in at 78, so when it water changes, it cools the water down a little bit, and then we heat them back up. So I actually just adjusted that to be a little bit warmer, and you can see these guys just kind of, you know, getting bloodworms in the back there. You got to watch between the plants to see them move, but really in love with these guys, so I hope we give them just a good home, and after time they will breed. You can see they're starting to come out over here as well. They've all just been taking up caves, and hopefully it's just a matter of time, you know, maybe in the next year or so we'll be able to produce some fry out of that. So then we go up top, and we've got a bunch of guppies, the gold Berlin buttercups, and then we've got the 397s, candy stripe pleco. So there's one right there, and there's another one right over here eating some bloodworms. You can see one of the larger ones we got from the catfish auction in the back. Kind of got to look between the pieces of wood there to get an eye on it. But yeah, I mean, we do have at least a sponge intake on this one. We do have it at 82 degrees. And obviously, I mean, I keep saying this, but it's, you know, my own paranoia of, like, it's not scaped yet. And these are just, you know, they're not quite bare bottom tanks, but they're definitely not final productions, you know, when it comes to this kind of stuff. So you can kind of see the layout we have. We could always set up more tanks if we want to. Right now we're trying to get on top of the ones that we do have, and that is the main goal, honestly. And then back here we've got some more work to do, you know, because you can see the light bleed and that type of stuff. But let me turn the lights back on and show you just a little bit more, guys, because I just wanted to do a walk around tour with me, you know, physically showing you guys stuff. So we've got, first thing here, we got these lights, which are super nice, and they're all on dimmers, so we can dim them down if we want. And so that allows us to play with how it looks on the wood and the tanks if we have too much glare while filming. And so I'm going to leave them up for the rest of what I'm going to show today. Still dealing with the aftermath of having a bunch of people over for that weekend. And we still got to build this wall out and all that kind of stuff. And you can still see here, we still have like staining materials and some drywall stuff. Like, we're not done by any means. We've got a water change going on right now on the 800-gallon up top here. If we open this up, you can now see what went up here in these cabinets. This is, we haven't, you know, tucked away all the wires or anything yet, but carbon block filter, solenoid system, That big hose goes to the 800 gallon. These other two hoses go towards changing water in these tanks. And then, you know, this is going to be shelving for like fish foods and that kind of stuff. They're on the kind of the push to close, you know, so we don't have to put any handles on there to break up the line of sight. So that's what we've got going on right there. We have all the tanks on wireless timers that hook into my phone. And, you know, obviously we got to build this out. This is just infrastructure. There's all, you know, needs to be shelving and that type of thing. Oh, and I just remembered, speaking of infrastructure, over here on the turtle tank, I forgot about that. So the turtle's got a 125. We're gonna doing up the light and all that kind of stuff. And we got a floating dock that was real temporary. It was just temporary there. They've already dislodged it and the magnets dropped behind. And I've got a whole build out on this tank, and that's why I haven't done it yet, is I gotta make sure I have the time to film it. That's important. But as you can see there, we have a canister filter on the right-hand side. This panel is removable, like it just pops off. Maybe I'll set the camera down and show you guys real quick. All right, so we made it so that panel could pop off so we could run a canister filter. Oh, the light's terrible back here, but you gotta take my word for it. There's a canister filter down there, and we can get access to the water lines we were running, and the air goes, you know, comes down, and it's gonna sneak over to this stand, and then it goes back up. But down here, we're gonna build like a little bench and that type of thing, so you won't see any of the plumbing. The flooring we actually used is made for a gym. It's rubber. And so if water gets under there, that'd be a bad day, but we think it's gonna be okay, and so far it's withstanded to whatever we've given it. And it looks kind of cool. It's got those blue flecks on it, and it does show dirt, like, you know, right next to the, you know, the garage where we're doing the building. You can see all the sawdust, but, you know, it is what it is. Once we get done building, shouldn't be dirty anymore. We've got a couch here for people to sit down on, and we still got all the infrastructure we always had with, you know, all the auto water change system going and the heater and all that kind of stuff. And we've got to still put a few things back, like electrical panel cover, and, you know, there's things to do, but we've got to build out the mantle. Right now it's just holding some stuff. And if we go in here to this absolute mess, I've got the two new big clown loaches. You may or may not have seen those getting added at this point, but they are terrified not being in the wild. I feel bad for them. And so they keep digging up stuff and making it real messy in here. So we're doing extra water changes, and you can see one of them up front here. Oh, see, it is already running from us. You see that? They're scared. You know, I can't blame them. They were in the wild, you know, probably a few weeks ago, and here they are now in this 800-gallon aquarium with lots of flow and plants and all that. So, but, you know, really enjoying this tank. I'll back up a little bit more here. So we back up, you can see reflections of my screens and that type of thing, but those are clouded archers up above with the flagtail Procholotus, tons of tiger barbs, and clown loaches. See if we can sneak in on the other side here. There's also reticulated hillstream loaches right there. And recently, when we had the weekend, last weekend, we saw that there was actually babies in here. Now, of course, I can never find them on camera again, because my camera is on, right? So that's unfortunate, but you know, there are babies in here. We're gonna find them. Hopefully, if Jimmy finds some, we'll put them in the video right now. But you know, there's a needle in a haystack. This rock work. This is where we found them last time. They were just like back in these little rocks, but I think we're gonna have to just sit here and watch, and they'll start coming out. But you know, you can see they love to go in between these rocks. They're eating that algae. And the algae is receding since we got the auto doser set up, which is nice, you know. So at the moment, at least for this video, I have this kind of turned off. This is another sump for this big tank, and it houses a turtle and a few other little things in here, like just some feeder goldfish that managed to find their way here. Of course, the turtle is not up and above for everyone to see this time, but hey, what can you do? And so yeah, that's really what we got going on, guys. It's been kind of a, you know, just a crazy few weeks, and we're working on getting everything kind of cleaned back up. It's just a mess of, you know, if you look at my mess here, it's like, oh, that's a pump, that's a fish sign, those are fans, that's a piece of wood on my treadmill that I'm supposed to be using to get ready for Peru. Like, there's a bunch of crazy stuff going on, but we are cleaning up correctly, I think. Like, we're starting to put stuff back in little cabinets. You know, we've got all of our different foods, and so we are trying to make it so it looks halfway decent. You know, not even just for you guys, but for us. It's nice to have a clean working space. You can see that giant clown loach again come out. You know, it's hard to, you know, I bought them and they're 10 to 12 inches a piece, but they're really camera shy. Like, just coming around the corner, they ran. So, but yeah, having a blast and enjoying. Just want to get you guys the update on what's going on here, so that way when we start shooting here's what this tank is, you're like, wait, I've never seen this tank. I don't even know what you're talking about. And yeah, so we flip that camera around. All right, guys, old school update, new school fish room, but we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it, and I know I got a ton more videos to make. I think you guys are gonna be excited for it. And if you haven't already, check out Real Fish Talk. We're doing some cool things. We have guests coming in. We're doing video segments. It's a 2-hour-long show. People are going, wait, that was actually really nice on my way to work or while I work out, that type of thing. So, you know, if you haven't already, give it a chance. If you have and you don't like it, well, there's still more content here. We're not taking it away. So, yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video, and I appreciate you guys.